as Pressley Harvin wore his welcome out in Pittsburgh, has time ran out for him to prove that he is the long-term answer at the punter position for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. We're going to dive into that topic in a little bit more, so stick around because I got another exciting topic involving quarterback Kenny Pickett. But let's start off with Pressley Harvin and his inconsistency in his time so far as a Pittsburgh Steeler. In week one, he averaged 42.3 yards per punt, 57 being his long, only one punt inside the 20, and that was out of 6 punts. And I think maybe the Steelers coaching staff has now finally come to what we've all been seeing and kind of just saying, Pressley, I think your time's up. They brought in Brad Wing, a guy that was around the team in 2015. Most recently in the XFL, also played for the Giants, but they brought him in for an audition this past week. And I think that was a clear message to Pressley, which is pretty obvious that, hey, we're bringing people in. We're looking at others. Your time is up. You're going to have to prove something and prove something now. And I think Pressley Harvin will be released in the next week or two if these inconsistencies continue. You can't continually put the defense into bad spots like Pressley has as of late, especially in week one, where you're giving the 49ers a short field 2 times in a row on their first 2 possessions in or near Steelers territory. That is just putting the defense in a super bad spot, almost in an unrecoverable position when they get down quick, get down 14, 17 points quick due to the inconsistencies at the punter position. And I think the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, the head coach, I think he's finally had enough. And I feel like he's given Pressley Harvin so many opportunities to prove that he could be what the Steelers need. However, he hasn't really ran with it. He's had some good moments, but they're very few and far between when you look at the whole picture of what he's done so far as a Steeler. The inconsistency has proven to be very detrimental to the Steelers' defense, and the Steelers can't afford that, especially with how they played against the 49ers. You need the special teams to be just that, special. And so far, the punting unit has not been there. We didn't really get to see Boswell and his field goal accuracy and seeing if maybe that position's improved since last season. But the Steelers are given a clear wake-up call to Pressley Harvin, bringing in Brad Wing. I just feel that the Steelers have really said, hey, we've had enough, because they can't do what they brought him in to do. They can't do exotic things. They can't use a fake punt game. They can't use him in any eccentric type role. They can't ask him to do anything more because Pressley can't do the basics. He can't perform at a consistent level to make opposing special teams groups, punt return groups, to respect his leg and respect what he is doing, to where, hey, they're going to bring the house on you every time. They know you're going to shank punts. You're not going to have the chance to really do anything else. And the Steelers could use that wrinkle in their special teams game. But Danny Smith can't work with somebody that's inconsistent like Pressley. And I think with the bringing in Brad Wing, the Steelers could get rid of Pressley sooner rather than later. As we've said in the offseason and in many videos, this was the last audition for Pressley Harvin. This was the last time, his last chance to be in a Steelers uniform and prove that he is the answer at punter. His time, the hourglass is run out, and the Steelers have to make a choice, and they have to pick a direction. And I think Pressley Harvin is about to be out because he has to have 2 or 3 big games in a row, being very consistent in order for the Steelers to retain his services, in my opinion. And I think he has been very detrimental to this defense. So moving on to that other topic that I mentioned in the beginning, and that was the topic about Kenny Pickett and the hit that happened and the way he was thrown down to the turf or the Acrisure Stadium grass, and where his head hit and bounced off that turf like a basketball. And you've seen afterwards Kenny's play not be what we've grown accustomed to toward the latter half of last season. Yes, Kenny started out slow in his first starts. However, he picked it up a little bit toward the end and showed signs of promise. But he did suffer concussions last season, and now I'm wondering, after a hit like that and seeing Kenny's performance, missing targets all over the place, left, right, no consistency with his wide receivers, no real audibling, no real changing plays at the line, getting in different looks, nothing like that. And it makes me wonder, were the Steelers, knowing that Kenny was a little bit cognitively messed up a little bit from that hit and from being bounced off the turf, but however, they didn't want to get him out of the game right away and cause a quarterback controversy with Mitchell Trubisky coming in already in week one? Is the show over? Or were the symptoms mild enough that they just decided to throw caution to the wind and allow Kenny to keep going? And we have seen in the NFL, we've seen with teams lying about concussions, lying about head injuries, trying to hide that from the fan base, from the media. And I'm wondering if maybe the Steelers possibly have done it here. Is Kenny concussed? Did he have symptoms? Will symptoms show up later down the road? There's so many unknown variables with these head injuries, and it's so hard to pinpoint when a symptom would happen. Just what the timetable is on healing some of these things and what you need to do to heal them. And it's such a unexact science. So I'm just wondering, with the way he performed, the way he looked so out of sorts the whole game, if that hit didn't bring some sort of symptoms on, and maybe he didn't even say it and articulate that to the medical staff, to the coaching staff, that he was going through that, because he himself didn't want to get out so early in the season and have that injury bug hit him already. Maybe he just wanted to tough it out and act like, hey, I got to deal with it. And some of these guys are like that. They're warriors out there, and some of them don't want to come out of the game, and they rather suck it up and just deal with whatever it is. Kenny Pickett strikes me as one of those guys that would maybe tough it out and try to avoid coming out and try to avoid any type of long-term rehabilitation for a head injury. And I'm not saying that the injury for sure happened. I'm not saying there is a head injury there. But if you look at the evidence, and I'll put it up on the screen now, but I just want you guys to see how hard his head hit and how, man, it would really be odd if he didn't have some sort of symptom or some sort of head injury with the way his head hit that turf. And it's been a constant thing that we've seen with Kenny, how hard his head just smacks off that grass. And I'm not sure. I know he did some neck exercises and neck strengthening drills to be able to increase that neck strength to where his head isn't getting like that whiplash type feel and type look from where we're seeing it on these highlights. And I put a short out about it, and I just want to know what you guys think. Do you think there's some sort of symptom there? Do you think that affected him in his play against the 49ers in week one? I think it did. And I think that it is quite possible for the Steelers and teams around the NFL, not just the Steelers, to sweep something like that under the rug. And it could very well happen. And are we looking at something that could be nagging him down the road? Could symptoms get worse? Could he have to admit that maybe that hit later on down the road this season had something to do with his play? Are we going to see another bad performance with poor decisions, happy feet to where he looked uncomfortable? Are we going to see that again? Would that point to another sign of saying, man, maybe something happened to him with that hit in week one? Not sure, guys. Again, I think that it did, and I think that it did affect him. And I'm not trying to make excuses, but the proof is in the pudding. You see the play, you see the hit, and it's just there. And there's nothing we can do about it except for watch Kenny, see how he plays, see if there's any symptoms that we can visibly see how the Steelers and Mike Tomlin answer and address the media when posed with questions about Kenny's performance, because I felt like Mike Tomlin's answer was kind of vague and inaccurate on what they were doing on the sideline with him, because I just feel like there was more done, more asked to him, and I feel like there was more to it than what was led on by Coach Tomlin. And he is a great architect of words and knows how to use them well. And he's able to manipulate words to paint the narrative that he wishes to paint, and he's very intelligent in that manner. So we may not be getting the full picture with it. And it's a shame that we even are thinking about it. And it's sad that it even happened because, man, that sucks. That was our starting future franchise guy, and you don't want to see that happen. So let's wrap this video up. Those were the two topics I wanted to talk about. So leave your comments about them down in the comments section. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. It helps me out a great deal. We are 3 away from 500. About to hit that first milestone in terms of YouTube milestones that you hit. You have to hit the 500 watch hour or the 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hour plateau to open up some of the things in terms of like monetization and things like that and growing your channel. And I'm about to hit those, so your help would be greatly appreciated. And I appreciate you guys so much for continually coming back each episode, watching the content, giving your thoughts in comments on the videos. I appreciate it. And to all the people that are super loyal so far, you guys are awesome, and I really, really do appreciate that. So until next time, put it in the comments what you thought about this video and what you thought about the topics, and give your explanation on what you think happened to Kenny and where you think we should move with Pressley Harvin. Until next time, peace.